Well, good afternoon, viewers. Today we have a Longhorn Cummins diesel. ABS lights on, traction control light is on. He's complaining about some front end work too. He says it's wandering on the highway. Probably a track bar or something like that. Got 219,000 kilometers on it. So let's scan it and see what codes it has to have in the ABS system. It's changed wheel bearings, I believe. So this is a new vehicle. I don't think I've ever scanned it before. He gave me a list of codes, but he extracted them from the PCM. And I need the codes from the ABS and the transmission. So let's do a pre-scan. What is implausible ERS message? Implausible ERS message. Left rear wheel speed sensor circuit erratic. Right rear height sensor wrong mounting position. Low, oh, it's got air suspension. Lovely. You mentioned something about a height sensor being broken. Lost communication with camera, turn signal. Well, he's got a problem with the left rear wheel speed sensor circuit. It's stored. I gotta shut this thing off, it's gonna kill me. So I've got the truck partially lifted off the floor, and I'm gonna build a custom data list in the ABS, look at the wheel speed sensor signals. Wheel speed sensor right rear, let's deselect right rear, right front, left rear, and graph. So now when I turn the back wheel, let's see, wheel speed sensor right front. So this one here is left rear, and this one's right rear. So I'm going to turn the wheel and see what happens. So I do have a signal from it. I can't turn the wheel very good because the brakes are dragging. I'll try turning the front wheel. Left front. And I'll turn the right front. So I suspect a wiring problem. I had a visual look at the wheel speed sensor wires and they look intact, but I'm going to take a closer look now that I got it partially off the ground. So I can't visually see anything wrong with the speed sensor wires. They go up over the rear diff, then behind the fuel tank, over to the left corner of the wheel well, and then forward to the front of the vehicle. I did have one a couple of years back that had broken wires or corroded wires above the fuel tank. We ended up dropping the fuel tank. But I can't lift this thing on my hoist, not safely anyways. It's too heavy. I checked the front end out. It needs a track bar, imagine that. And it needs an intermediate steering shaft. The U-joint has play in it. But it'll probably still wander after even changing those parts because these front ends are horrible. Especially when the truck is lifted and has oversized tires on it, which it appears to have. The right rear suspension ride height sensor, his arm is busted, so he needs a new arm. Needs a new sensor, I imagine. but he's aware of that already. I'm going to let it down and take it for a road test and monitor the wheel speed signals. So when you're monitoring data from the ABS system, the ABS light, park brake warning light, and tire pressure message and service electronic parking brake message are all flashing, which is normal. So we're going to look at right rear, left rear as we drive it. It's working fine now. See if it drops out. Oh, now the hocus pocus is stopped when you start moving. Well, that's better. At least we don't have to listen to that annoying chime. Oh, spoke too soon. Spinning the tires, that's what's causing that. Pull out of the driveway on the snowy side road and it spun the tires. I'm going to record for a bit so you can see the left rear dropping out. Now I'm driving over some rough roads because I'm on a gravel road. Sure if that's related to just the speed sensor dropping out or if it's a wiring issue. If it would die and get it over with, it'd be easy to diagnose. So when I pulled a U-turn or slowed down and then was accelerating again, the left rear was dropping out. But it dropped out a couple of other times for a fraction of a second. Replaying the recording, there's one drop out there, and I was driving at a steady speed, smooth pavement, so I don't think it's rough roads related. I think it might be a wheel speed sensor. Like I said, if it would die and get it over with, it'd be easier to diagnose, but because it's intermittent, I'm going to recommend throwing a speed sensor at it. They're not that expensive. At least the last one I bought wasn't that expensive. And if that doesn't fix it, then it's got to be a wiring issue between the speed sensor's plug-in and the actual front of the truck, which could be anywhere. Let's see if there's any other dropouts. I'm going to check to see if the code returned. So let's exit out. I've saved this recording. Let's read the codes, see if it set a code. Erratic stored. Let's clear the code. You gotta do that key on engine off. Maybe I can clear it. Let's see if it will clear. Let's try it. Okay, so it did clear. Let's see if the four-wheel drive works. Mind you, there might be a code in the four-wheel drive powertrain control module yet still. So let's shut it off. Clear all codes read by code scan. See if that restores the four-wheel drive operation. Normally there should be an indicator light on the button here. I think that should be on. Cleared from 22 controllers. Let's shut the key off, restart it. It's four-wheel lock. message on the dash that it's in four-wheel drive. Let's try spinning the tires. Definitely it's in four-wheel drive. Spun the front tires and rolled coal. Okay, let's put it back in two-wheel drive before it gets stuck in four-wheel drive. Well, we'll discuss the repairs with the customer.